Animals with the most terrifying teeth.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Talltanic. I'm your host, Alexa.
Whether you have white choppers, stained yellow ones getting sorted out with braces, or fake ones, your teeth are integral to your daily life. Same goes for the animals, and today we have a look at some of the most terrifying teeth in the animal kingdom.
If you're new here, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload.
Sabretooth deer. You might never have the same sense of comfort around deer again when you find out about this species. The Sabretooth deer possesses two fangs, which make it look, well, possessed. You will find this vampire-looking deer in Eurasia, and people know it by its broader family name, the musk deer. The teeth are only used in battle against their own species during mating season when males fight for dominance. The fangs are elongated canine teeth and are a genetic distinction separating them from other true deer. Now that we've totally ruined the image of a docile deer for you, you can rest slightly easier in the knowledge that hopefully you will smell them before you see them, as they do give off a powerful musk scent when they mark their territory. Leatherback Sea Turtle. Leatherback turtles are often represented in cartoons as chilled out, friendly, plant-based eating characters, but the reality is totally different. If you open a turtle's beak, you will find the stuff of nightmares. You will be greeted by a mouthful of giant spikes circling the entire mouth and throat area. The spikes extend all the way down the esophagus into the turtle's gut. Ending up in a turtle's mouth is a one-way ticket to its stomach. Nothing can escape the omnidirectional spikes, or more technically known as papillae. Thankfully, the turtle only feasts on jellyfish, so the backwards-facing papillae help pull the meal into the stomach cavity, like hooks. It's important that the leatherback turtle does have an efficient method to swallow its favorite menu item, as it can consume up to 73% of its body weight each day. Babi Russa. The deer pigs of Indonesia have the most bizarre dental makeup you'll ever see. Like most wild swine, it has evolved tusks that it uses as tools for protection, but the Babi Russa's additional weaponry is a little bit extra. Their lower canines are enlarged and curl backwards slightly, like a warthog. The upper canines curl upwards, like deer horns, and curl backwards towards the head. These are used when fighting for dominance during mating season. One of the major downsides of these curls is that they will literally grow back into the skull if they're not worn down enough. Geese. Most people have had a run-in or two with a territorial goose at the local touch farm. It's the stuff of hilarious homemade movies. But if you look inside a goose's beak, you might run for the hills too. Geese have two sets of teeth. They have teeth surrounding their beaks, but then they also have a completely tooth-filled tongue. These serrated tongues have the same makeup as the leatherback turtles and are modified papillae that have become bark-like to help with eating. They help the goose hold on to prey as they sift through muddy water for small critters to eat. Even if you aren't a minuscule river creature, if you ever gaze inside a goose's mouth, it's terrifying. Narwhal. Most people think the narwhal is a mythical creature, but there are actually around 100,000 living and breathing in the ocean today. Initially, the unicorn of the sea, it was considered a myth, like mermaids concocted by lonely seamen. But finally, it was scientifically documented, and surprisingly, there were a lot in existence. What makes it so unbelievable is that its spear defies the norm of symmetry in the animal kingdom, as only the right canine modified into a spear, while the left canine socket remains empty. Or, on a few occasions, it will sprout a second large tusk, the same as the first, so it looks kind of like a carving fork. The spear is far from mythical though, and is a strong line of defense for the narwhal, reaching a length of 13 feet long. It really gives the narwhal a head start for getting the first jab in. Lampreys. The sea lamprey has a reputation for wreaking chaos in the Great Lakes in the USA, and it's their unique teeth that make them such a threat. Lampreys are often mistaken for eels, but they are more closely related to sharks. They have no scales and have a skeleton made of cartilage and breathe through 7 pairs of gills near their mouths. The showstopper of the sea lamprey is their uniquely designed teeth, a round suction cup ringed with sharp, hook-like teeth facing inward into their throat, which it uses to grip onto its prey as it passes by. The horror continues. As their tongue is so rough, it uses it to file its way through the outer flesh of its prey to suck on the blood and bodily fluids until it dies. Sea lampreys invaded the Great Lakes in the 1830s and have been on a warpath ever since. Hippopotamus. Hippos are the most dangerous animal in Africa, claiming more victims than any other. Not only do they have a gigantic weight behind them, but their canines have also evolved as weapons of efficiency. These two traits give the hippopotamus incredible destructive power. Here are the stats behind this river-dwelling mammoth. Firstly, the hippo is more closely related to the whale and not the pig, as previously thought. It certainly shares its scale with the whale, as it can grow to 16 feet and pack up to 9,000 pounds on its frame. It is the third largest land animal with impressive acceleration speeds in land and water, which is kind of unexpected given its size. Its modified canines that form tusks grow to 16 inches long and are driven closed by powerful jaws and the advantage of weight, adding to the force. Galata baboons. With teeth like these, you would think the Galata baboon of the Ethiopian highlands would be an apex predator. They are actually mostly grazers, surviving on a diet of 90% grass with some fruits, flowers, rhizomes, and roots for flavor. On occasion, they will snack on insects, but this is the exception, not really the norm. So what are these impressive canines used for? Well, it seems they're only used for defense. Basically, when in doubt, whip your canines out. The Galatas will flip their upper lips up to display their gnarly white gnashers to anything threatening them, and they can deal some damage to an enemy. But when it comes to diet, they are vegans with a carnivorous predator aesthetic. Camels. Okay, we ruined your image of sea turtles, and spoiler alert, this next fact ruins camels too. Camels give off a docile, kind of dopey image, but the power these plant eaters are packing is worth a mention on this list. It's true that the dromedary camel is a grazer, but hiding behind those lips are teeth of over 3 inches in length. On top of this, their teeth are sharp and supported by powerful jaws. During mating season, camels can be really territorial and defensive and pose a risk to their owners. There have been reports of fatal bites from camels, so think twice before making fun of its humps. Gharial. Move over crocodile. The Gharial owns in the toothy grin department. The main difference to these cousins is the Gharial's longer, narrower snout ending in a bulbous growth called a gara. The snout is lined with 106 to 110 needle-like teeth that interlock tightly. The narrow snout has the advantage of less resistance, so it can snap through water faster, catching fish on its sharp spear-like teeth. The Gharial adult's main diet is fish, and occasionally big individuals will include birds, reptiles, and small mammals. Sadly, they are highly endangered, as they were hunted exclusively in the early 20th century for their valuable skin and eggs. Great white shark. The great white shark is an apex predator. Its speed, prey-sensing abilities, and body size place it on top, but its teeth ensure it makes mincemeat of its meal, and here's why. Similar to a gecko regrowing a lost tail, sharks regenerate their front row of teeth to remain in peak condition. It has around 300 teeth, which are set out in rows. When one falls out, the tooth in the row behind will migrate forward to fill the gap. The first 2 rows are the ones in use for grabbing and cutting through its prey. The other rows are the replacements waiting in the wings. The great white shark gets to an average size of 4.5 meters and weighs about 2,200 kilograms. Its torpedo-shaped torso has evolved for maximum speed and efficiency as it is driven through the water by its powerful center, its tail. It's not uncommon for them to reach speeds of 24 kilometers an hour. Pair that with regenerating rows of razor-sharp teeth and it's a hunter that means business when it goes for the kill. Naked mole rat. It's not hard to miss a naked mole rat, and its name pretty much sums it up. They're also known as sand puppies, and they're common in East Africa. They live in communities, quite like insects, and scientists are studying them extensively as these hairless critters seem to be immune to cancer. They're not entirely blind, but just have very small eyes, which they keep closed when they burrow underground. What makes them stand out even more are their unusual teeth. Their teeth are located on the outside of their mouths, which prevents dirt from entering their mouths when they dig. Even stranger, their teeth can work independently of each other, kind of like a pair of chopsticks. Which of these teeth did you find the most terrifying? For me, it's all of them, but share your thoughts in the comments below. 1. Crabeater seals. Seeing the crabeater seal's teeth, you might think it would make light work of vulnerable prey. And you'd be totally right, but these scary-looking torpedo teeth with ornate cusps on them feast on one of the most vulnerable of prey, minuscule krill. Yeah, you heard right. I know, their name is really misleading. The Crabeater seal is a 15 million strong population living on the pack ice of Antarctica. They grow to about 2.5 meters and weigh 400 kilograms when fully grown. Their pups are already 1.2 meters when born. Their snouts are longer than other Antarctic seals, which gives them a unique puppy dog look. They are the most abundant seal species and the most numerous large animal in the world after animals. Its crazy-shaped teeth are uniquely evolved to work like the baleen of whales, basically sieving the water for tiny krill. The crabeater seal sucks water into its mouth, closing its jaw, and forces the water back out, trapping krill in its teeth. This microorganism makes up 95% of the crabeater seal's diet.